Welcome back to what Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 212A. It's the Soviet TN9 SPG, and we're on the north spawn of Prokhorovka under the command of Running Hawk. Now, as you can see, it's a What Arty Noobs 212. It's got our logo on the side, kindly provided by Sir Rusty. And if you want a copy of that, you can get one from his site on Facebook, where he actually stores most of the skins that he's produced. Well, this Arty is carrying the V4 203mm howitzer, and it's supposedly mounted on a KB220 chassis, but in actual fact the Soviets never actually built any 212As. It was a project that they were designing in the 1940s, in the early 1940s, but the project was cancelled and eventually they just gave it up. They never built any. So, KB220 with a 203mm howitzer. Okay, we're into a firing position, and Running Hawk is now ready for action. And he's found a target. There was a Batchat 12 ton there running through screen, and now he's got a T-44. Now that's a Soviet Tier 8, so he fires around it, no, just too far away. Now, his shells can do 1050 alpha damage on a penetration of 52mm. And in actual fact, he's got 40 rounds of ammunition to fire, which is quite a lot, really. Trying to get a lead on that target as it moves about. The arc of the 212 is quite thin. So it's very difficult to keep the aim dialed in fully. And this is an encounter game, by the way, as you can probably see. So the cap area is in the village. Somebody managed to get a hit into that T-44 as he's moving backwards and forwards. Now he's obviously providing a scouting run for his team at that moment. And undoubtedly, I think some of the enemy tanks are going to be up on the hill. We've got a contingent up there already. And very soon now, I suspect that Running Hawk will be re-aiming at the hill to provide support for them. No, not yet. I'm sure he will when he gets around to it. There's not much happening though. Ah, now we've got a mouse. Okay. A mouse trap has been sprung, and we've got a mouse at the foot of the hill near the village, which is a very odd place for a mouse to be. Very odd. But he's dialing in his aim on it, fires around in, and direct hit. 275 hit points. Now, he went into this battle carrying 30 rounds of standard HE. He's got 10 rounds of premium as well. I think he'll get around to using those eventually. They are like a little more expensive. Batchat 12 ton up on top of the hill. All taking damage already, and he slipped over. Oh! Wasn't he lucky not to fall into that gap, but he's actually upside down against the rock now, and I don't think he's going to survive this. Oh! Smack that bottom. Well, that didn't take long. What a way to end the battle, upside down and a shell right in your rear. Well, the enemy are doing quite well because they've taken the hill and they're now streaming off the hill into the village, and they're going to start capping any second. Okay, they're 257s now in the cap. The mouse will probably be joining him. We fired around in where the mouse is. Oh my god! We killed the mouse! How did we do that? With one shot? We must have hammer-racked him. Surely. He was killed with one shot there. I mean, he'd taken some damage before, but to kill a mouse with one round like that, it must have hit something vital. Okay, going for a defender who's hiding behind that rock, and that's not going to protect him from a 203mm round. And I think the most obvious place to put the shell would be directly behind that rock. Yep, there's the defender, and there's a 257. Now, where's he going to put the shell? Where the 257 is? Unfortunately, RNG says no, the shell's going to go slightly to the left. And unfortunately, we lost that one. But we've got a Reveille, or Ravioli, as Jingles calls it. Tier 8 medium tank, French. And now it's a whole smoking wreck. Next shot. Defender, or is it going to be 257? Well, 257 is trying to cross the centre line and contract. This is going to be painful for him. Yes, it is. 404 hit points of damage and 1046 after that from stun assist. I think he got hit with something big, maybe a squash head round from an FP4005. Something, actually I think it was a round from a Jaegeru. That was what did it. It was a Jaegeru round. Okay. They're still there. I think the defender changed course and pulled forward again. That T-44 is still making rounds up and down. Okay, 257's no more. T-44's decided to back away and round out. And that was a direct hit for 494. Lovely timing as well. Beautiful timing. Got it just right. Now if the defender stays there, we can put a round right onto his side, and spaced armor or not, it's certainly going to give him a headache. Almost loaded. Half the job in Arty playing is actually to work out where the enemy's going to be, so you can fire the round in accurately. Because tank drivers don't appreciate the skill in playing Arty is knowing exactly what the enemy tank's going to do at any one time. And some of it is guesswork. I would admit that there's an element of guesswork in there, but it's also a general appreciation of what the player is doing at the other end. You can see if a tank pulls forward, then he may be pulling forward just to shoot, and they may be about to stop. So if you aim just ahead of him, you drive straight into the shot. Like that one, the defender's moving backwards, so you're anticipating that he's going to continue moving backwards. You just aim just behind him, so he just reverses back into the shell. We've got a BK101P, and he's camping there. And of course, Arty prevents camping. No, he's decided not to camp anymore. Now he's moving, so we're going to have to lead the target. Work out where he's going to be. He's tracked. Okay, now he's going to be on his own, and HE time. Direct hit. 344 hit points. Lovely. Now that defender is still moving backwards and forwards on that rock. There you go. I think he's got dibs on that rock. Well, we're anticipating he's going to continue moving back, but I suspect he's going to pull forward any second, go back to the rock. And there's a BK101P who's seen better days, and now he's dead. On the other side of the map, we've got a Foch. That's a French tank destroyer. Fire a round in. I think that shell landed slightly to the side of him. Best thing to do right now would be to go back to that rock where the defender was. We've got a T-44-100 moving up to spot, so he should be able to find him. Yes, he is there. And Running Hawk's moved back to the rock. And he's still there, and now we're loaded and we're ready for him. So when he reverses away, here we go. Round out, looks good. That must have landed next to him. He will be showing stun the next time we see him, I think. Unless he pulls back into those bushes. Now, the amazing thing is the score is fairly even at the moment. There's only one tank in it. And there's nearly half the enemy team are still out there. Dialing in on the defender again. Round out. Well, that stunned him, and it gave him tracked him on the one side. T44 keeps popping up to do a quick look to find out where the defender is. He's crossed the line to fire a round into the T-44, and he's been killed by the Jaegeru. But there's still only one tank in it. Most of the enemy team are tank destroyers. They've got one heavy tank, which is the Object 705, and one Arty, which of course is the M40, M43. Oh, they just lost their Borsig. He managed to creep up quite close to the railway line, and they're now indicating that they think somebody is in grid square A8. But we do know that there's an Object 268 approaching us quite rapidly, and ran out. Oh, it landed short of him. RNG is bad again, but there's the Foch. The Foch has been spotted and he's firing at the moment. Oh, doing damage to our guys. Well, somebody is in the village, that's for sure. The cap's occupied, and the score's now even. So they've managed to claw some back with this attack. We're still focusing on the 268, and we're loaded. And the 268's been wiped out. So we're now going to where the Foch was last seen. Or are we going to go to the cap? No, we're going to the cap. Now the problem is the nearest tank to the cap who's going to be able to spot is the T-44-100. And if he does cross that divide, there's probably a good chance he's going to get fired on. I'm not sure how much health he's got, but he's going to have to go across to find out what's there. Right, well, we've got somebody in the cap now to stop the cap. Oh, somebody's pulled back out. Our T-44 was on the edge of the cap area blocking it, but he hasn't been able to spot the enemy tank. Now he must be on the other side of the cap. They fired around him where the... oh, yes, he was there. The 705 is behind the mouse. There he is. He now knows he's been spotted for his sixth sense has gone off. There he is. Right, he's firing at our Jaegeru, and the Jaegeru just took a big chunk out of him. We're almost loaded, so there's the FV4005. Now he's got much lighter armour than the 705, so he's going to be a much better target. We fire at the 705, and you can see most of the buildings were destroyed with the splash. The 4005 has got very weak armour around the gun. The cover to the gun, the what do you call it now? The turret armor. I say you just have to call it a turret, really, more than anything. It is a turret, but it's very, very weak armor. So if you put a round into that, it's really going to suffer hugely. Oh, we just lost our T-44, but the FV4005 takes a shot. Splash 288. There's only one enemy tank left, that 705. And we can probably get him with this next round. Round out. This should be it. Oh, it missed. And the Jaeger finally gets revenge on the 705. And that's game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's a first class tanker for Running Hawk in the 212A. Not an ace, unfortunately. Not quite anyway. He also managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 16, and he got a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on the team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other team members. If we look at team scores, we can see that he actually did the 3rd highest damage on his team. The highest damage actually was the Jaeger, 5,412 hit points of damage. The 2nd highest was the AMX-50B. He did 3,000. Oh, actually, no, it wasn't him. It was the FP4005 on the enemy team got the next highest. And he managed to get 3,202 hit points of damage. And then we've got the AMX-50B with 3,016. The highest scorer of 212A was 2,905 hit points. When it came to kills, the highest scorer was the Jaeger and the FP4005. They both managed to get 3 kills. We've got a whole bunch of tanks with 2 kills apiece. And when it came to base XP, it was Running Hawk who got the highest amount, and he got 1,089 XP, with the next highest scorer being the Scorpion G with 924, and then the Jaeger with 922. Running Hawk, well, wasn't enough for a high ace tanker, but it certainly was pretty good all the same. So if we have a look at the detail report, we can see that he actually fired 19 rounds during that battle and got 7 direct hits, 7 penetrations, splash damage on 8, damage of 2,905 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He damaged 9 of the enemy and killed 2 of them, and also did damage assistance of 284 hit points and stun assistance of 3,291 hit points. He also caused 13 stuns and got 1 defense points, hitting one of the enemies while he was in the cap. I think that may have been the mouse at the start of the battle. On a premium count, he earned 60,858 credits, and the reward for completing the mission and events was 9,129. That brought up a total of 69,987 credits, and after ammunition resupply, and remember it was the 203mm ammunition, which is rather expensive, he actually only ended up with 33,697 credits. He got 1 bond for the Confederate, 1,633 XP for the battle, times 3 for the first victory of the day, 245 completing the mission, took away 5,145 XP altogether. So quite a reasonable battle, but yep, not an ace yet. 3,694 win 8. So it's super Unicum standard, but obviously the 212A is played by quite a lot of people. And in order to get an ace tanker, you probably need to get a lot more kills and also to hit a lot more higher tier enemies. After all, you're a tier 9 Arty, and you were hitting quite a few tier 8 tanks in there. The Defenders tier 8, the Batjats tier 8. But there were a few tier 10 opponents in there, so you would obviously improve your score just by hitting more of the higher tier enemies. So, if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.